such a tumultuous 5-day period last week, and as emotionally draining and exhausting as that was, and now you have a stretch of 11 days where you don't have a game. How do you handle that, and what was your message to your team as you kind of get back here with this unusual period of timing?
Well, I talked about the big picture of what's in front of us, and obviously the 5-day off, and frankly, today's practice you have to really treat a lot like a bye week, because anytime your team is away from the football field, an extended period, north of 72 hours. So I mean, we just built that into today's practice. So we'll be a lighter practice today than a normal Wednesday. But just talked about what's the couple of things that we had in the past, and frankly just laid out how we see the week unfolding, but also acknowledge that with all the scheduling change that we've experienced the last couple of days, and frankly just anticipate that this is really the new norm. I mean, this may be the way this season unfolds moving forward. So the flexibility, to just keep your eye on the target the best you can. Our players, our football operation has done an excellent job to date, battling the COVID challenge, and just to re-emphasize the protocols and what we have in front of us, just so we can continue to make our environment as safe as possible with both here at work and at home with our families. So just that was part of the message, and then frankly then went into football, because this is these are tough times that we're in. We understand that, but the biggest challenge is with our personal emotion path that we're on. Today will be a little bit like a normal Wednesday meeting structured, and we'll watch the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game as a football team, in positions in safe protocol environments, and then tomorrow we're having a memorial service for Marcus Paul that we'll be able to attend virtually. So we'll have that tomorrow, and just have a little bit of football, but tomorrow will be more dedicated to Marcus Paul, and then after that we'll try to get into a normal flow of a normal game plan week as we get ready for Baltimore to play them on Tuesday.
Is that just for the team, or will the family be included in tomorrow's session or memorial?
Well, we will as a team participate virtually. The family will be able to be at the church. The church is limited to how many people can attend.
Okay.
Mike, you mentioned y'all would watch the game tonight in a safe way. Is that you're watching the game as a team, or everyone will watch from home?
We're going to watch it, by position, and we're going to watch it in our position space, where we can spread out and be comfortable and just collaborate. You never really have an opportunity to watch your next opponent play live after an installation day. So the fact that we had a chance to meet virtually yesterday on Baltimore, just to go through the introduction, presentations, the personnel changes, trying to anticipate some of the things that are in front of us, because obviously what they're going through with their COVID challenge, who actually may be able to play in our game. So we spent today on normal down distance and third down. So now to be able to watch them play live, I think would be a real benefit if we did it together. So I thought it was a unique opportunity. We've all watched Monday night games before, but rarely do you get to watch a game live after you're 2 days into your preparation.
Along that line of thinking, Mike, how obviously I assume you've already got a game plan and an idea of what you want to do, but how heavily does this game weigh in how that might change as the week goes along?
I mean, that's an excellent outlook, but the reality of it is it's schematically, I think all of us as in the NFL, you are who you are conceptually. You're going to attack your opponent from a similar platform, but the utilization of personnel is really the question that we'll obviously look at today when they play Pittsburgh. But I feel like our personnel department has done a really good job of trying to track their personnel of who may be back next week and so forth. So that's really the big question will be as we move forward. But our schematic preparation and how we plan on playing. That process is, we're in day 2 of that.
Mike, what are your feelings of having to play on a Tuesday night and then a Sunday at noon? Is there any kind of, do you view that as a disadvantage at all?
I just think it's really the state of the times. Some people may be upset, maybe some people, but it's totally something that none of us can control. So really didn't give it much. I've spent more time just trying to make sure you get the schedule right and make sure that the players, particularly coming off of a Thursday game and in the period of time before your practice. So we have just really spent the majority of our time as a staff the last 3 days just trying to make sure we have the preparation correct. Because you can over prepare for games. That's something you have to guard against. But there's so many moving targets here because of the state of the league's in, and so really our outlook is we got to be prepared to play on any day of the week moving forward. And that's just really my mindset. So as the head coach, as all of us, you have a responsibility to get your team trained and prepared to win a football game. So regardless of what day it's played, and that's really the mindset that we're in right now.
Mike, on that note of Baltimore personnel, what are you seeing from Dez Bryant in the limited film he's put up this season? And when you think about his career, how much do you think of that 2014 playoff game?
2014 playoff game. Dez. I have great respect for Dez. I go back to I attended his workout before this draft, and just to watch his career in Dallas. So he was definitely a dynamic player. So it's great to see him back and having another opportunity. As far as how we feel he'll fit in. I think the majority of that is a little bit to be seen. As he gets his opportunities. But obviously a great Cowboy for a number of years and have a lot of respect for him. And I tell you, there was a hell of a catch he made that day. But unfortunately the rules didn't line up for the Cowboys. So, but he's a tremendous player.
Do you have a better handle on the time frame on Zach Martin and Cameron Irving now that you've had a few more days to work through this?
Yeah, definitely. I think Zach's going to be multiple weeks. He's going to be a couple weeks, and Cam maybe a little quicker is the communication that I've received.
Mike, any way you can look at this extra time as a positive, considering everything your team has had to deal with, not just with the COVID stuff, but with Marcus Paul? Can you channel that as a positive that you guys needed this break?
Oh, I think you have to, because frankly, you can't control it. So the fact that we were able to have time to reflect and regardless of what the schedule was, whether we were playing on Thursday or Sunday, tomorrow. To be aligned with the family on a service, that was always the focus. So, but I think you can say that it definitely helps us from that perspective, no doubt.
Mike, will y'all have any active part in the service for Marcus, or will you be watching?
I'm not going to. I don't think it's my place to really get into the details of the service. So, respect to his family.
Mike, given what happened in Denver, have you guys given any more thought of just quarantining a quarterback just to make sure you always have one with 4 guys around?
Oh, definitely. I think everybody notice what goes on throughout the league, and frankly, I got to give Jim Mauer a ton of credit for he's kind of our lead person on the the COVID conference calls and so forth. So I feel like we're on top of what's going on, where the protocols are headed, where the stress points are, particularly as it directly affects our team. But I could just say we feel like we have a very strong plan in place with our team, but more importantly with our quarterback room. So we've had that in place for quite some time. So we're just going to stay the course.
Have they been kind of quarantine might not be the right word, but have they been cautious in terms of distancing between each other regardless throughout the season and things?
Oh, definitely. our facility is just really accommodates the need for space. I mean, we have clearly over 100 square feet per person in our meeting rooms. So that's definitely the quarterback's meeting room right now was originally the special teams and defensive unit meeting room in normal times. So I think it clearly tells you the space that we have for all of our players, in regard to the quarterbacks. So there's plenty of space.
Well, Mike, you were asked about Dez a little bit ago, and obviously the number 88 means a lot here when you look at the history of the franchise. How do you think CD's dealt with that? When you think of the burden, or maybe burden's too strong, but how do you think CD's held up to the scrutiny of that number? What's come before him?
Well, I think CD just from day one, just the conversation and just really the respect that he has for the number, and frankly, how he views it, as an added responsibility. So I cannot say enough about the young man from the day he arrived here. He's a class act. He's very mature, very professional in everything that he's done, and I definitely feel like that carries over to the playing field. So I think he carries the number with great respect, as it should be, and I think he's off to a great start of representing a number throughout his career. Thank
How
you.
is he adapted?
Okay. Good.
I was just going to ask to follow up on CD. How's he adapted to this season? Because not just you see traditionally rookie receivers have periods of a difficult time of adjustment, and now he's had 4 different quarterbacks. How has he handled the 4 different quarterbacks in addition to what a rookie normally faces?
I think it really plays to his personality, and I think really the receiver group as a whole, they really haven't blinked. It's a group that frankly doesn't say a whole lot. They're pretty consistent in how they approach meetings, practice, and so forth, and it's definitely a strength of CD's. I mean, you can see his maturity. That it's definitely. I mean, nothing has been too big for him from day one, and and as you always do, you get to December, you really keep an eye on your rookies. But also going back to the earlier question, I think this break and extended time has probably helped our young guys more than anybody, because they've been able to catch their breath and pretty much have more of a second bye week mentally and physically, because obviously we understand the emotional challenge that's in front of us. Thank you.
You good?